Hey there fam, it's April from The Possible Diet. I haven't done a salad recipe in a while, so I thought I would do one for you. This is one of my favorites. I got the idea for this salad after having a very similar one at a San Francisco restaurant called Palomino. It had truffles and Parmesan and pumpkin seeds, and the original recipe had golden raisins and honey, probably some kind of sweetener in it. I've taken those out and swapped chopped apples. You can use Braeburn or Gala or even Honeycrisp, but a nice sweet apple would be really good in this salad to reduce the carbs and pump up the fiber. And then I just leave the honey out and I use rice vinegar and apple cider vinegar, which are sort of sweet vinegars instead. And then real shredded Parmesan cheese. I like a pretty thick shred for this salad. You want to make sure it has some bite. Some roasted pepitas, pumpkin seeds, unsalted, and then I just use a regular bagged kale salad. You can adjust the amount of kale that you use depending on how much you like and also the type. Like this one has carrots and red cabbage in it. You can just use plain kale if you want. A lot of people don't like kale. It grosses them out because they say it's just like too tough. And we're going to use a method called massaging. I know it's like you massage the kale with the dressing to soften it up a little bit, and the olive oil kind of seeps into the kale and makes it a little bit softer and a little bit more edible. So the easiest way to make this dressing is to start with the jar. Make sure the jar has a really tightly fitted lid because you're going to shake it up pretty hard. Get a tablespoon of finely diced shallot or red onion. I'm using red onion because I don't have any shallots today. And then you want to add a half a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I like to be pretty generous with my Dijon mustard, and then you can tailor it after and add more. But I like Dijon. It gives it like a nice bite. And then a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. You can use all apple cider or all rice vinegar if you want. I just kind of like the mix that it gives it. Both of these vinegars have a really strong flavor. Woo! Coming down to the last drops. And I find that mixing them balances it out a little bit. And then you want to add 2 teaspoons of truffle oil. I use white truffle oil, and this is it's not cheap, but I find that when I make this salad, it's worth it. There's just something about that truffleness that like kicks it up a notch. That's very nice. And then 1/3 cup of olive oil. You can add more olive oil if the dressing seems a little bit too strong for you. But I find that 1/3 cup is pretty good. And then we're going to add some freshly ground pepper. Let's do a few grinds. So maybe like 1/8 or 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then some freshly ground salt. Salt is a little stronger, so maybe not so crazy with that. Just eyeball it. Add your lid. Make sure it's screwed on tight. And then you just shake it up until it kind of emulsifies a little bit. You can do this with a blender if you want, but honestly, it's super easy with a jar, so I don't even bother. And just like that, you have your creamy dressing. Now I'm going to put the kale in a bowl, and I'm going to show you how to massage it. Okay, I have about half this bag of kale in the bowl. I like to start with half because you can always add more later. And I'm wearing a glove because I cut my finger and have a Band-Aid on my finger. And please do not massage kale with a Band-Aid on your finger. That's just disgusting. You could wear 2 gloves if you want, but since I'm the only one eating the salad, I don't really care. Pour the dressing over it. You can pour all the dressing. If you have at least a half a pound of kale, you'll use up all the dressing. You can also double the dressing recipe. Sprinkle in your Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle in your apples. And then your pepitas. And then you just kind of want to like, the way that you massage it is you just kind of like you rub the kale leaves in between your fingers a little bit with the dressing. Make a giant mess. I use apples a lot, you'll see in my recipes. If you don't have pumpkin seeds, you could probably get away with sliced almonds for this recipe, but I like it. I've also added hemp hearts to the salad, and those are a really nice addition. And you'll see this is pretty well dressed. Depending on how much salad dressing you like, I noticed that when I started eating salads, I would be a little heavy on the dressing, but the more salads I ate, the more I really wanted the flavors of the veggies to kind of shine. And so I started adding less and less dressing. In the beginning, when you're eating a lot of salads, the 2 tablespoon serving size on a jar may just seem ridiculous. But if you toss a salad properly and you really get used to the flavor of vegetables, it's delicious. It's really enough. So yeah, there is our kale salad. So I think I'm going to leave it like this. I don't think I'm going to add any more kale to it. It looks pretty good. So enjoy.